Hey, what's up everybody? Thanks for clicking on the video. This is David Pendleton, and today I'm going to cover with you the pro level division for the Wilderness Tournament. This is the first 5 holes. The reason why I'm breaking it up in 5 holes today is because I'm trying to get you pro content out there a little bit earlier, and I'm actually sitting here on my lunch break at work. So I'm off to a very hot start. As the title says, I have drops for you on the first 5 holes in pro, which is nice. Now, hole number 1, I'm going to do something that I used to do a long time ago. I'm very hesitant to do it because normally when I do, the comment section blows up with questions. I'm going to show you how to play hole 1 with the slider. If you don't want to use a slider, no big deal. I'm going to show you the other way to play it. It's all the same no matter what, but this will just show you how we trick elevation in the game to help us out, okay? So, here we go. I am picking the Hornet as the club that we're going to do the rough bump with, because if you have a Hornet level 7, 8, or 9, you can see they're all in 88 power stat. That means that regardless of your club level, we're going to play at the same slider, which is really nice. You get a lot of people who say, ooh, this person has a maxed out club, but I only have a level 7. Well, sometimes at the end of the day, it doesn't matter. That power stat on this rough bump is what we're looking for, okay? So I'm using the Hornet. If you got the Hornet, put it in your bag. If you don't, do not worry. As usual, I'm going to tell you how to get that thing in the hole or very close to the hole without using a slider. But if you want to use a slider, there you go. Take a picture of that. I had to, I started my baseline with a drop shot. So I dropped it at 337 yards, and, I just messed around with the app and figured out where it needed to be. The 339 is where we start, 50%. If you're using a slider, you're going to play at minus 5% elevation at minimum distance. It's a little bit weird, but it is minus 5% at minimum. If you're not using a slider, 10% at mid, okay? I just misspoke. If you're using a slider, minus 5% at mid. Mid. Everything with the slider is at mid. If you're not using the slider, 10% elevation at mid. And you're probably going to be like, well, how does that work? I don't understand. How can one shot be minus 5% and the exact same shot be 10%? Well, I'm going to show you, okay? But 339 yards, 50%, minus 5% at mid. 338, 52%, minus 5% at mid. You can see here that for every yard you go down on your drive, you're going to add 2%. For example, the drive I'm getting ready to show you is going to go 325 yards. That means I drove 10 yards less than this, and I need to add 2%. So 10 times 2 is 20. That means I'm going to play my shot at 78% slider. If that sounds confusing, I totally understand. That's why I went away from doing this. But hole number 1, I'm 2 for 2 on once I got the slider numbers down. Okay, big topper is a driver. And we're going to go with all top spin except 1.5 bars. 2 bars of side spin to the right. Here we want to get down the middle of the fairway. As a reference point, you can kind of take a look at my rings. It looks like we have half the red ring in the rough. And maybe less, yellow ring closer to the rough. But just look where I'm at there. Some of the red ring in the rough, some of the red ring in the fairway. It is imperative, though, that you hit this ball perfect on the drive. And, of course, on shot number 2. Very, very, very specific whenever we're looking at using a slider. I'm very hesitant to do this. I cannot answer your questions and comments about other clubs. But, again, 325 is where that drive went. So if we look at this, I drove 10 yards less than the 335, which means I need to play this one at 78% slider. If you want to take time to write them all out so you have it right there, that's great. You can do that. But just make sure that when you drive, you don't look away from your screen. Don't look at the TV. Don't look at something else. You got to know how many yards you drove. Now, here we go. 4.7 miles per hour means I'm playing this shot at 78% slider, which you can see up here. 4.2 rings is going to be the pull, okay? Now check this out. If you're not playing with the slider, put it back to normal, 50%, 10% elevation, 4.7 rings. 4.7 miles per hour is 4.1 rings. The only difference here is 0.1 decimal. And sometimes, as you know, we leave a lot of shots right at the pin, sitting on the cup. This is sometimes the difference between making a shot and missing. You're going to notice that I do pull this 4.2. You're going to play this 5 top, 3 left no matter what. 5 top, 3 left no matter what, as long as you hit the drive perfect, okay? And I don't really care where you set up in the rough. We want the ball guideline going through the middle of the pin like that. If you're not playing a slider, I want you to move your ball guideline over a fraction to the right-hand side. I want you to favor the right-hand side of the cup. Here's why. Remember, with the slider, we should be 100% accurate. Slider means that if we hit perfect and we know the slider percentages, the ball better go in the hole. So here's my 4.2 ring pull. Normal shot. We do make this one left-hand side of the cup. Again, if you're not using a slider, that's why you need to move it over to the right-hand side, just a fraction, I would say, all right? But either way, you're going to be very close. Here's another one. My drive went further this time. So you can see here, I'm only playing 68% slider. So let me show you the difference here. That was a lot of moving around. So I start off, it should be 68, 69 are the same. 4.5 miles per hour based off my drive is 3.8 rings using a slider. Now look, if I reset the app, put in the same wind, it's going to have me pull 3.9 rings. So if you're playing 10% at mid, it's going to have you pull 0.1 more rings. That's it. But again, that 0.1 is pulling us away from the hole to the left-hand side. That's why I want you to offset right. If you guys and gals like this, very, very specific, this may be something I can start going to. We'll see. Of course, that's going to be very time dependent and, of course, donation dependent, because it would add a lot of time to what I do. But, or if you don't like it, just tell me. But here, either way, I'm showing you the same shot, 2 different elevations on how to get this ball in the hole on hole number 1. But again, left-hand side with the slider. That's where it's coming in at, okay? Hole number 2, 5% at max. This shot was very difficult for me to find. No lie. I messed this shot up 4 or 5 times before I figured out what to do. And it is a gamble, okay? I want you to take a look at how close I have to put this thing down to the fringe. But once I found the landing position, I did get this one 2 for 2. Take a look at the spin adjustments too. That's going to be the most important part first. We're playing 5% at max, 2 bars of right side spin, 3 back, 2 right, 3 back, 2 right, and ultimately look where I have to rest this thing at. You can see I'm trying to get very specific, very granular here. These are based off my practice shots, of course. All right, now that's where I want to be, right there. But look at this. There's no room for error on great shots. We are literally playing our ball guideline right up on the fringe line. I mean, look how close it is. This is the only way that I could get it to go in. I know that some people sent me Ben Kennedy's shot, and that's getting really good reactions as well. But his is very specific too, and I looked at it, and I'm not good at the pulling back. But look at that. That's dead center, 2 for 2 for a hole-in-one. But again, you can't misadjust, and you got to hit perfect. So hole number 2 is tough, but there's a hole-in-one on it 2 times. Hole number 3, I pick up a very lucky albatross here. I only say lucky because this is obviously a hard hole to hit an alba on. We're going to go with the Titan because of the tailwind. We're going to go with 1 bar of side spin to the right. And here I'm using like 0.8 bars of backspin. You don't have to go that heavy with the backspin. You see here we have almost 7 mile per hour wind. That's why I went with backspin anyway, just because of the high wind push. But, you know, we do leave some room on the fairway. So I think we're probably good with, like, you know, I don't know, maybe 0.3 backspin, 0.3, 0.5 if you want to be safe. But we have plenty of room here on the fairway. We're going to bring our Cataclysm or your Big Dog to shot number 2. I prefer that one, these clubs, over the Horizon on Pro here. This is nice wind. You can see here I'm going 1, 2, 3. Let me rewind that back. Sometimes I suck at figuring out this top spin. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, so that's what 6.3 top. And notice the left side spin. You'll see me mess around with that because I'm trying to get this ball guideline to the hole. I mean, obviously I'm trying to make the shot. That's why you see me wiggle my target around. But I don't expect it to go in, if I'm being honest. So, yeah, a little bit over 6 top, 1 bar side spin to the left is what I settle on. And then I just push my rings around to see how much overpower I need to get to the hole. And it was very little, as you noticed there, as I was messing around with the shot. So somehow, some way, this ball finds its way home, dead center. I don't expect that to be repeatable, but, you know, hopefully you're going to see it's going to be easy to get down to the green area for at least an eagle, and maybe you'll be like me and get a very lucky albatross. Hole number 4, I pick up a hole-in-one a couple times. Again, this is in practice. Unfortunately, I did not get it in real mode because I went to a Kingmaker instead of a Katana. I tried to reduce the wind. So 2 for 2 on practice with Katanas, okay? 0 for 2 with Kingmakers. Let's note that. Here, you're going to see my first attempt at this hole because I forgot to save the other replay. So I want you to notice my spin. I'm going with 3 bars of side spin to the left and 1 top. This is not the spin that we settle on. I want you to notice here, I'm trying to find the funnel, and this will kind of give you an idea of how I dial in shots too. This is just me trying to find the line. But here, we need less side spin, okay? The 1 bar at top spin, that was good. I thought, you know, I like the ball guideline past the hole because of the headwind. Very long bounce to pin here. That's called secondary wind push. 2.8 left, 1 top. 2.8 left, 1 top. Red ring by the sand line. That's how we always play it. But look at the shot there. Like, look at how far past the hole the ball guideline is. And I'm aiming clearly to the right-hand side of the cup. I'm not even in the cup. So right-hand side offset. Again, I buried this one 2 for 2, 6.1 mile per hour and 6.5 mile per hour, 25% elevation at max. On both my accounts, I tried to go Kingmaker to reduce the wind, and the shot did not go in the hole. It was very close. But here we go. I mean, you can't get more dead center than that for the hole-in-one there. That will take us on to hole number 5. I will release the rest of the holes as soon as I can. I hope you like this video. If so, you know, leave me a thumbs up. And if you're new to the channel, please hit the subscribe button. This hole is perfect wind to try to go for green. Extra mile 9 here. Now, of course, you may not have that, but keep in mind, I'm not using all the top spin. I did not practice this hole. I just went right after it. I'm going to go here, as you can see, right at 6 top, like 5.9. That's not intentional. I was trying to go 6 top, 2 right, and take the shot here. I'm getting very close to this tree. We do need to sneak it in between these 2 trees. I'm going to pull my rings, okay, and then I'm going to leave it there. Now, you might be asking, how did I know to do that? It's because we've had this wind angle in a tournament past, and I had a replay on it. That's why I didn't even need to practice it. I had to even put down the notes on my computer that I'm looking at that tree right there as a reference point. So that's what I'm doing, and it worked out. Take a look at the curl here. The curl is pretty important as well. This is one thing that I wrote down from a previous tournament, is I was looking to have a little bit of separation between the left edge of my ball and the right side of the target. So you see how between the ball and the target, you can see a little bit of blades of grass. That's what the curl needed to look like. I hit a great ball to the right here, but that's okay. I get away with it. As you can see, we get through the trees, 1 bounce, 2 bounce, and we just roll down towards the green. The only thing that was different between this one and the replay that I looked at, the wind, believe it or not, was identical. They were both at the 6 miles per hour. I did get a better roll on the other account, though, and landed on the fringe. So that was a little bit different. Maybe I used a little bit more overpower. Overpower is very, very hard to copy and duplicate. But either way, that's a great shot to get you down there. This shot here is played 25% at mid distance. Full top spin. Very good wind angle here. Of course, getting almost direct tailwind. 25%, as you'll see here. And then I zoom it in because these rings are super small. And we get this ball in the hole. So there you go. There's holes 1 through 5 in pro. All dropped shots. I will do my best to get some more holes out tonight. I don't know if I will or not. But if I don't, I will get them out tomorrow morning as my usual time. Thanks for watching. Let me know how you like this. Have a great day, everybody.